Hey everyone, Challenger Player Wicked here, and today we are doing a matchup guide for Fiora. Basically, we're going to talk about when you want to pick Fiora and when you don't want to pick Fiora. Now let's get into it. First, we're going to start with the hard matchups. The first one to come up is Malphite. Now, this guy is really bad for you. The thing about Malphite is you can probably beat him in laning phase. You have a chance, you have more regen than him, you can survive his poke damage. But the problem is when you get to later on in the game and he gets a couple of items, he's going to be stronger than you 1v1 until super late game. And he's going to be much better than you in team fights. So if you guys are all a really bad pick into Malphite, just because he's easy going to counter you hard in team fights, his engage is going to be great against Fiora because you can't split push if he's going to hard engage in your team. Next up we have Quinn. Now the reason Quinn is a bad matchup for Fiora is because she is ranged, she can jump, she can always get away, and she can poke you forever. It's incredibly hard for Fiora to ever make a play on the Quinn. And even with the jungle ganks, it's just very hard for you to get onto Quinn and damage her and kill her with jungles. But for Quinn it's very easy to kill Fiora, 1v1. It's also easy for Quinn to kill Fiora with a jungle gank. And also, Quinn can just push you in and then roam and kill your teammates. Quinn have a lot of opportunities to dominate you or your teammates and do whatever she wants to do in the game, where you're very limited in what you can do and you just end up slowly losing the game in most of the cases. Next up we have another tank, which is Poppy, the small midget. She is extremely annoying for something like Fiora, especially because of her W. In teamfights you're going to have a tough time because the W kind of counters your jumps or your dashes. Her ultimate is also great against you. You make a perfect play, you get the ultimate proc off on everyone in a team fight, and she knocks everyone away from it, and now nobody gets the healing. Also, one thing to note during the laning phase, when Poppy's jungler decides to gank Fiora, she can just run you down, click W, and you can't really run away and use your Qs anymore because, well, you're gonna get stopped. Alright, next up we have another ranged champion and somewhat of a tank. We have Urgot. Now you see the trend, tanks and ranged champions are generally good against Fiora. Now the reason Urgot is great is because he got so much damage, and his ultimate is absolutely amazing. As a Fiora player, you have to kind of choose, are you going to W his E or his ultimate? And if you W somebody else who's ganking, then his ultimate is just going to murder you. And Urgot can just sit back, never use his E, he doesn't never have to knock you back, and then just slowly poke you down and not give you any counterplay. And then once the jungler actually ganks for the Urgot, he's just going to grab the kill because you're going to use W against the jungler, and then he's going to use his E and ultimate on you. Alright, for the last hard matchup, we have Shen. Now this is a matchup you can actually win. The problem is, Shen does have an advantage, and he does have an easy way to have map pressure. Fiora doesn't like when the enemy champion have map pressure. He can click ultimate, help his team out extremely easy, and you can't do anything about it. Now the thing is, you can actually beat Shen on lane if you hit vitals all the time, but Shen have the opportunity to just stop you from hitting vitals, and then he slowly wins. He's stronger than you if you don't hit the vitals. So it's a very hard skill matchup lane, with him having an advantage by also being able to help out his teammates on the other side of the map. Overall, this is a matchup you kind of want to avoid, but it is playable. Alright, let's get to something much more fun, the medium matchup. These are the most fun matchups to play. First one we got Jax, a champion I play all the time. Now Jax can win the trades if he W hits you all the time. He is going to play a reaction style where you're going to play an aggressive style. Now if you hit your W on the Jax, you're generally going to win the fight. Overall, you should have an advantage in lane. What you want to do is aim to always hit your W. If he stuns you, you can still win the fight as long as you hit the W because you still slow his attack speed, and he's very attack speed reliant. In team fights, he's going to have the slight advantage, but you'll be better at split pushing. So you got to play to your strengths and abuse the split push, which Jax also wants to do, because that's where you shine. And he's going to shine a little bit more than you in team fights, but that's okay. Now we're going to talk about Sett, the absolute monster of a laner. This guy doesn't lose lanes. He's an absolute god in lanes. However, Fiora will outscale him. So just sit back, relax, farm all the minions you can, take every single one of them if you can, and just play safe. You don't need to be a star, you don't need to make crazy plays. You need to farm up, get a ton of gold, get to 3 or 4 items, and then you're going to absolutely crush team fights or split push depending on how your team is doing and what kind of team comps you have. You gotta play according to your team's strengths and abuse that. And Sett is actually a champion you can easily beat if you know exactly how to do it and if you do it properly. Next up we have Darius. Oof, this is a really hard matchup to play. It's a medium matchup because both of the champs can win. You have to W his E, predict it, and if you do that, you can all-in him, kill him easy, no problem. Now the matchup is extremely hard to win, and nobody's really favored to win the game with that matchup. Darius have the early advantage, should be slightly strong unless you outplay him. You have the scaling advantage, so if you manage to just drag out the game, you're going to beat him hard. However, if you're confident in your play, you can also outplay him early game and take kills, and if you manage to do that, you're going to snowball out of control. Alright, next up we have Garen. Oof, this lane is really rough. Garen is extremely strong in the laning phase. You don't actually want to fight him. You just want to sit back, relax, hope your team have really good champions against Garen, and then just farm it up. Keep farming and farming and farming. Once you get to 3 items again, that's when you want to strike. You don't need to be fighting all the time. Sure, if your jungler is ganking, you can grab a free kill, you're going to do that. But focus on farm. Focus on letting him push you in, sit on your tower, farm out all the minions you can get, and don't try to fight him 1v1 too much, because you really don't need to. Now the last one is Tryndamere. This matchup you should be winning early game. You can play extremely aggressive in early game, and you're way stronger than him. Now the thing is, if he gets a slight lead on you, you can't do anything anymore, you can have a very bad time and it's not going to be very fun. Against Tryndamere, your W is extremely broken, so it's really important you hit it. I suggest that you learn to wait for his jump, then jump in on him, E him to slow him down, and then W him to ensure it hits. After Wing him, you can fight him for 2 seconds, you're going to dominate him during those 2 seconds, and then you can back off and chill for a bit. Alright, now we're getting to the easy matchups for Fiora. These are the times you actually really want to pick Fiora, because you're just going to win extremely hard. The first one is Irelia. Champion I used to play a lot in the past. The thing is, Fiora just have more damage than Irelia, so you're going to win. The stun from Irelia is extremely easy to predict and very hard to hit for her, so you can always W it. Try and wait with the E till she starts using her stun. Then you want to E down the Irelia when she's using it, and you want to W and hit it. Should be very easy with a slow from the E, and once you slow her with a W, you're going to win that fight every single time as long as you don't get stunned. Now there's obviously a lot of micro skill involved in this matchup, and you want to be very good at timing your E's and W's together to really beat her out. Alright, now we got Sylas the healing monster. This is a matchup you're actually very happy to play into, because Fiora have a lot of sustained damage and you will keep damaging him forever. He's not going to be able to out heal your damage, so a long fight is where Fiora shines the most. What you want to do is just farm up again. You can beat him early game, you don't have to. It's very easy for you to predict his jump in, and then you can stun him. If you manage to stun him, you proc ultimate, you slow him, and you hit every single proc. It's very easy for you, and then you're going to win every single fight. Overall, you should be very happy about this matchup, and if you get it, you should expect a win. If you don't win, then you should have played better. There's always things you can improve on, that's okay if you lose. However, learn to get really good at this matchup, because then it should be free elo. Alright, let's talk about a really annoying champion top lane. It's Mordekaiser. A lot of people don't like playing against him. But again, Mordekaiser is a slow poking champion. You're very good against him with your ultimate. Now there's things to know. There's a weird interaction with his ultimate and your ultimate together, where if you use it while you're in his ultimate, then it doesn't come out on the other side. And then also there's another interaction you have to remember. Your W can block his ultimate. If you manage to do that, for Mordekaiser doesn't really have that much more to go, and then you're just going to kill him every time. So really focus on learning the timings of those abilities, and try not to proc your ultimate while you're in his ultimate, because then you're going to lose it and you're probably going to lose the fight. Alright, now we got one of the most beloved champions top lane. It's the one Hashinshin always plays. He's called Aatrox. Aatrox is an absolute monster in the top lane, but Fiora counters him. Aatrox is great because you get insane amount of healing. He's dominating every lane. However, the thing is, a lot of his abilities are predictable, and also he got a lot of knock-ups that are very predictable, which means Fiora can easily W against him. Fiora have more damage than him, and you have more sustain than him if you get your ultimate off, which means you're going to win every single fight against him. You're going to outscale him if you play well, and he won't be able to do much. Now in the laning phase it can be a little rough, and you can play it safe. You don't need to, but it's possible to do so and focus on outscaling. Or if you're very confident, you just play aggressive in the laning phase, and then you try and take him out early. And if you do manage to kill him early, well, you're going to outscale him and shit on him in the early game in that case, and there's nothing he can do anymore. And last but not least, we got Mundo, the guy who does whatever he pleases. Mundo is a champion that's actually seen in top lane from time to time. Now the thing with Mundo is that he doesn't have as much damage as other champs. He's very healthy, he's very tanky, but Fiora can just proc his ultimate very easy, and then you're going to take him out. In this matchup, you want to focus more on farming than you want on killing him. Sure, if you win the matchup, that's great, but getting items early is what's really important. He doesn't need as many items as you do. So if you don't farm a lot, and if you don't hit all the minions, then he might end up being more useful than you. However, if you play it properly, you should be more useful than him, and you should be winning this matchup. Alright, that's it for our Fiora pick and not guide. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked it, leave a comment, tell us what you want to see next, and also remember to like the video, and see you guys next time.